might have breached that rule.
Yeah, I mean,
I totally secretly dated another trainer.
what was his name?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. When you have a BJJ Gym Crush, oh my goodness, you've gone to jiu-jitsu, you found this thing you love, and now, there's someone at jiu-jitsu, you kind of like them.
Other thing you love.
It's a bit awkward. You see them all the time. They look real nice in their gi. They seem so cool. But it's shaky ground to tread on because you might spoil the thing you love, which is jiu-jitsu, the first love, by messing up the social dynamic by trying to date a teammate. This is problematic territory, and I want to bring it up. We've never actually spoken about it, but we all know it exists. We've all been there. We've witnessed the horror stories of coaches dating students, people dating teammates, blowing up, and then someone's got to leave the gym. There's so many terrible things that can occur, but there's also some success stories out there. And so I wanted to kind of talk around the ethics of this. It's problematic, Joe. Have you seen stuff like this?
Yeah. Seen it plenty. I think often what comes to mind is where it's failed, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, that was bad. Someone had to leave the gym, or say the more extreme cases where you see, abuse, right, unfolding, like a coach student. Like, just to put it out there, we do see it a lot in jiu-jitsu that there is, it probably has a disproportionately high amount of older male leaders in the community sort of taking advantage or hooking up with younger students. Like, we see direct abuse, like pedophilia, but we do also see borderline unethical. Yeah. And so I we don't want to go into that. That's not what
No, this is not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about more around, you're new to jiu-jitsu,
adults.
you're making some friends, and then you hang out a bit, and then you're like, I kind of like that person. I'd like to hang out with them outside of jiu-jitsu and just get to know them. But it can make things more awkward. And so I wanted to get into this because I've had someone ask me a question saying, there's this girl, I really like her, and I've done jiu-jitsu for a couple of years, and I'm kind of thinking about asking her out. And I said, whoa, wait. Because what you have to consider, and this actually comes more from a professional point of view, working in gyms my whole life, is if it doesn't work out, this may not forfeit, but really tarnish your experience of jiu-jitsu. That's what you're betting. It's not just, we're not cool now if it doesn't work out, because that's the bet. Yeah, it might work out. You might be the love of your life. You might get married and then you have a jiu-jitsu family, happy days. But it is not necessarily the case. And if it does go awry, do you then fuck up your jiu-jitsu community? That's what we're worried about. And I think that having a method of approaching it, now we're not the dating specialist, so this isn't love advice, this is kind of up to you, but the things you need to consider before you take that step, that's what I would like to discuss. Now, have you seen any situations where people have maybe managed it from a gym perspective more so than BJJ Joe? Have you seen anything like that where two separate individuals have been able to come together successfully and blossom as a relationship within the gym environment?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want the best gear for BJJ, you need to go to parryathletics.com. These are our guys. They support the show. George, great guy, great creator, awesome colors, awesome styles, and also the best fit. It feels great. And that's the thing. It's not just that it looks good, it feels good. And the thing that for me, I love the most is I can wear the stuff at jiu-jitsu, but then also they've got that other side, the cool side, where you can wear it off the mats. And they are our exclusive partner in apparel. If you want to get bulletproof gear, you've got to go to parryathletics.com. And when you buy anything at checkout, enter bulletproof20 for 20% off. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that plenty. Like here in my gym, we've had two long-term couples hook up. one went on to get married and have a child, and then the other one's
Amazing.
maybe they got engaged recently. But yeah, right, like different members of the gym start hanging out, and then bam, the thing's, whatever. It's great.
It's a great thing.
I actually can't speak to ever seeing it go badly here. We've definitely had moments of creepiness, like at Christmas parties and shit, where certain people have
Too many
gotten
drinks
too intoxicated and just tried it on with anyone that they could. And, like that, and that usually kind of ends badly, but that person like reads, they pick it up like, oh, I think I fucked it up here, and they
bail.
don't come back.
Yeah.
But, like largely like a really good experience with it, right? My relationship, my partner, we met through, not through the gym directly, but through me coaching.
Right.
And we met there, both consenting adults.
Of course.
And then we sort of started to spend more time together. She would come to my classes.
Right.
Yeah, my jiu-jitsu classes specifically. And that was the basis of the beginning of our relationship.
Oh, wow. That's
so,
cool.
and so like as a gym owner and as someone that's like trying to be aware of like, not fucking up like a good thing, right? Not making it awkward for the other people in the class or awkward for the community. Yeah, there's a lot of considerations there, right? Where you're like, okay, like there's a lot more riding on this, right? Like this,
especially if you're a coach compared to a student, compared to just students
exactly
dating per se.
Yeah, and so it's not just like if we compare, say, because it's all potential, right? So if you compare that potential, I'm a business owner, and I'm a coach, and then I'm sort of like fostering this growing relationship with a student.
Sure.
Versus I'm a single guy flicking through Tinder.
Sure.
Right? There's one of them is, and there's a lot riding on it. The other one doesn't mean shit, very insignificant.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like, I think in that way, then you have to really be sure that, like, if you're going to pursue it, you have to be sure that, like, that you're giving it that weight.
Yeah, you're giving it the proper respect it deserves for what is at risk.
Exactly.
Which is the first love.
Yeah, so definitely don't f*** around. Like, don't have a fling in that scenario. If you want to have a fling, like, go do Tinder or, whatever, they'll go meet someone at a bar.
Yeah.
And like, so we've had it in the gym, right, where there's been, like, we've had people over the years many times be like girls were like, oh, you get in a conversation with girls in the gym, but like, you got a fella? Like, what's going on? And they're like, no, like, I'm trying to meet someone. And I'll be like, what about so-and-so? Like those dudes in the class. And they said, yeah, but they won't, like, they never like approach. And then I'll speak to the dudes. I'll be like, bro, so-and-so's single and like maybe interested. And he'll be
Joey the matchmaker.
Always, because you're like,
Joey's the orchestrator.
Yeah.
Joey and the love barbell.
But the guys, but the guys have said to me, bro, I don't want to bring any drama to the community. It's too tight here.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, like they're actually being so respectful of the thing that they're like, not here.
Yes.
And so like, great, whatever. But yeah, I think giving it the respect, right?
Yeah, and also some of you might have come across a similar situation at work. So different workplaces will have policies about you can't date workmates depending on the environment. And if you do, it's got to be really behind closed doors, no, public displays.
Do they actually have policies around that?
Some workplaces do, yeah. And there was always a rule at my gym, which is don't screw the crew. You can't. Trainers can't have relationships and trainers cannot date clients. That is the rule. You break that rule, you're out. And so that was very clear cut. I might have breached that rule.
Yeah, I mean,
I totally secretly dated another trainer.
What was his name?
Handsome gentleman, amazing moustache. His name was Nicholas.
Oh yeah,
Brazilian, 6'3", slender. Couldn't stop talking about himself in the third person, but I didn't mind. I was like, say your name more, Nicholas. I love it. I was very mature. He said I was mature. Here's the thing. So here's the thing. His broken English was incredible. I told him his handsomeness made up for it. Here's the thing. We kept that very behind closed doors, myself and this other person, just because, one, we wanted to do our work when we were at work, and we also just didn't want it to complicate us dating each other outside of that. And it just meant that we had to be it actually made us much more organized about our relationship because we couldn't just rock up together, be like, what are you guys doing here together at 5:30 in the morning? Did you pick, like, that's questionable, you know? And so it actually, at the end of the day, like, it wasn't a long-term thing, but it actually made us behave more in a more respectful way about the relationship, because we couldn't just be lazy with it and we couldn't just be really open with it. And now that might be really, for some people, kind of toxic or crippling for a relationship to not be able to express yourself. But in that way, because I valued my professionalism in the gym as a trainer, and so did she, we just kept it that way.
Gave you boundaries.
It gave us boundaries, and that was actually pretty good. But does your gym have some rules around this? Because maybe you're a blue belt, you've kind of got another blue belt friend and you're becoming more than friends. You get your purple belt and then the coach is like, hey man, we want you to instruct. Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, I want to keep the coach happy, but I don't want to lose my relationship. So now I'm an instructor dating a student, but I didn't sign up for this, you know?
Right, yeah.
So the jiu-jitsu thing can evolve, and this can put pressure on a relationship that you're building outside of the mats.
I question, policies are great and stuff, but can you actually control consenting adults when they're interested in each other?
You can kick people out. I've seen gyms kick people out for misbehavior around that.
That you can do, but I don't think you can actually stop. Like, if two people are interested in each other, nothing's going to get in the way of that, right? And in that way, so I'm thinking, like, I don't know. I'm just thinking as a gym owner, like, if there were coaches and we had a policy of, like, don't fuck around, don't bring drama, don't mistreat.
Yeah.
If you want to be a fuck boy, like, do that outside of here.
Yep.
But if I had two coaches that were like, yeah, this is a thing, we're, like, really interested in each other, we love each other, like, great. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't feel like, well, now I got to kick you out because that's against company policy. Like,
No,
fair enough, man.
but yeah.
Love is love.
Oh God, Joe, don't bring that into it. Sure, it is. Love is love. And I'm not saying, we're not saying this in a prescriptive way, right? Like, what we're talking about here is maybe there's better ways to go about it and there's worse ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Right? But I am aware of gyms that do have certain policies, and I know of two specific occasions where people have been booted.
Yeah,
So
right.
you can't do that here. That's bad for our business.
And were they doing it in a kind of whatever, like an above board, respectful manner, or was it like?
It was secretive. One of them was secretive, but it was an affair. So there's that.
That's problematic.
That's,
if you're married or partnered up.
Yeah, because that doesn't look good if,
No, that's bad for everyone.
That's very, and that's the thing.
I've seen that destroy some gyms.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying, right? Like, this is where we've got to cut the line between this is a business, business and a service, and this is a community with lots of mixed relationships, right? At the end of the day, the ethics of the behavior and the ethics of the coaches will reflect on the business, and that could kill the business. And that's where it can really come in.
Do you find you get thirsty at training? I do. I do all the time. I'm a sweaty human and I need to hydrate. Now, the biggest problem is by the time you're thirsty, it's a little bit late. You need to hydrate. And that's why we got Sodi. Sodi is sponsoring the show. We've got all the colors of the rainbow. Great flavors here. We've got salty citrus, salty pineapple, salty berry, and my favorite, salty grapefruit. And they will be releasing 2 new mystery flavors soon. So why do we need this? It's going to prevent our muscle cramps. It's going to help our energy delivery. And it's also going to mean you're less tired, which is an advantage when you're training. If you want to maximize your jiu-jitsu and feel good when you're rolling, you need to get Sodi. And when you purchase, enter the code bulletproof20 at checkout for 20% off. Oh yeah, flavors soon.
So the situation I had seen, which was kind of interesting, I'm not going to name people, but they had a relationship before jiu-jitsu. They came into the
Like
gym.
a friendship?
No. They were kind of dating.
Yep.
This came up, like they kind of came up in the ranks. Both high-level competitors, like very well respected in the gym. And then the guy happened to just start kind of randomly dating one of the other people in the gym.
Oh.
At the same time. It wasn't even like secret.
Sounds like he made a poor decision.
It was a very bad decision. He chose poorly. And then it was very tough because the lady who was kind of in this situation, she was like, what do I do about this? I don't feel like this is the relationship's deteriorating here, but I love this gym and I want to be here. And kind of went to the coach and was like, the gym owner and coach was like, oh, like, what do we do here? And the coach was like, oh, I want to stay out of this. I can't tell you what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to do what you feels right for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, I don't know what the right decision was, but at the end of the day, she ended up leaving and joining another gym. And that was really a loss for that gym.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it was just kind of, it was terrible, right? And what ended up happening is those two people also left the gym because there was so much moral judgment in the gym around it that you guys fucked this up. You also alienated one of our best competitors. Now they're out.
Yeah.
Like, you guys fucked up the vibe.
Yeah, I think it's like very like reasonable to expect that people who are in other relationships, married and whatnot, are sometimes going to get interested in somebody else, right?
Sure, it can happen.
That's like that happens. And so in that regard, it's like, all right, the choice of, okay, I'm going to have an affair versus, okay, I need to really make sure this is what I want to do. I'm going to end this relationship. I'm going to start this one. Yeah, yeah, because whatever, like just on our human values, you cop so much judgment, right, in the affair thing. And they happen all the time.
Of course.
But it's like, yeah, you don't like, it's bad enough doing that thing secretly in your own life, let alone doing it within your jiu-jitsu community where people are privy to it. You're going to get judged. It's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible. And look, I don't want to linger on the negative, right? Because I do believe this can be done in a positive way. And I've seen it where someone had a gym and they'd started a gym early. They were like purple belt or whatever. It took them ages to get their black belt, but they were running this kind of gym, small gym out in the suburbs, and they met someone else at a different gym. And they kind of started liking each other and doing the thing, and they built a relationship, and that's cool, different gyms. And then eventually she came across and they ended up getting married and they got 4 kids. And it's a jiu-jitsu family and it's happy as f***. And, all the kids do jiu-jitsu and it's just known as
no one got burned.
Family club. No, they did it right.
No community was damaged in this process.
Oh, I think that other gym was jealous that he kind of
stole
her across.
Yeah.
But whatever, it was early. I think it's not like it was another black belt head instructor. It was just like, but that was just an example of somebody who actually built their jiu-jitsu community off their relationship.
Yeah.
They were known as a great family gym. Their kids train. It was a cool thing. And I'm like, man, that's jiu-jitsu bringing people together. And that was kind of, they ran it in a really nice way. And they, to this day, run a great gym.
Well, yeah, I mean, how you go about it is really everything, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is a huge challenge because we all crave the connection, right? And jiu-jitsu might be the only way we socialize. So it's like,
Yeah, and you know what? I think like I can look at a couple of scenarios where, like say when someone's relationship is like, when you're in a shit relationship and you're coming towards the end of it, things are often like, it's not all going to end in a nice, clean way.
no.
So it's not like end that, like it's not always realistic rather to expect.
But who's getting the coffee machine, Joe?
End that
and
then
who the is getting the Mazda 321?
But then jump to the next one, right? It's like sometimes there's blurred lines, right? And that where I think people really drop the ball with this shit, and I actually know of another gym where that has had this scenario recently where the owner of the gym got involved with, the owner of the gym is married and got involved with one of the other coaches, I think, or students there. And it's just brought a whole bunch of drama to the place, right?
Yes.
It's the lack of communications around that. So I think like it's fair, like fuck-ups happen, poor decisions sometimes get made, people judge from the outside and maybe see something, maybe it didn't play out like that, but that's how it was perceived
We're
publicly.
all human, we make mistakes.
But I honestly think for like a leader of a community to be like, hey guys, I want to have a chat to you after training, I just want to let you know like how things played out, like to share with, like if you're the gym owner, to be like, look, this has happened. I've done this thing. I wish I had done this differently, but whatever. Like, I think that's really powerful. just communicating with your people.
Yeah.
So they can be like, oh, so-and-so's a human and whatever. They could have managed that better, but they were really upfront about it and their heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I think more of that would be cool. But often with this relationship stuff, people tend to just like, let's just brush over it and pretend it didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, nah, there's people there's going to be students who are harboring kind of vibes over that for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect the community.
It hurts relationships, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, at least in my family, you know, I have very good relationships in my family. I love my parents, love my sisters and my extended family, and everybody's pretty open and like we discuss stuff with each other, right? So it's one of those things that I think sometimes we're not aware of it, but people are maybe more invested or feel more connected to us than we realize at jiu-jitsu, and that we may have created an extended family, and maybe in your family you're a little bit more private. But then suddenly you've got someone weighing in being like, bro, why did you do that? And you're like, oh, hang on, Uncle George. I didn't know you tell me how to run my life. But Uncle George might then also go speak to management and be like, oh, what's going on? This guy's around. You know what I mean? Like there's this thing that we love the benefits of the jiu-jitsu community, but we often miss the responsibilities that come with being a good member of the community.
Yeah.
And it is important to remember that your decisions are going to affect these other people. Even though you might feel it's not their business, people will make it their business. So I think this is at least my take on it. If you do want to take that step to, you know, ask your gym crush out or maybe spend a bit more time with them, just consider how you approach it, and then definitely communicating it, whether it be with the coach or with other people, how you want to let people know it's a thing is quite important. There it is, folks. Gym crushes, you've got to sort it out. You've got to find a way to do it responsibly. And if you like this kind of information, you want to share it with more people, like, follow, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating. We appreciate you all.